So recently, I was scrolling through on the internet and I saw this post on Facebook about a iPhone user or consumer who was actually saying that he believes Apple, is better than Samsung due to Apple mostly focus on premium. And it was like, oh, Samsung is very, inconsistent, that they don't actually, um, that the, for example, the S25 Edge is not, it's not consistent with the layout or with the design. But if we think about it, what's the most important thing about a smartphone? Is it not if the phone gives you value for the money you got? When I mean value, I mean like if it works perfectly, like if the durability and everything else works perfectly. But this user, he was just so, he's so invested in the iPhone. I'm not saying that if someone cannot be invested, in an iPhone or in a product or in a brand. For example, now I am someone in which I just love, I love different brands of phone. I can't really say, oh, I'm a big fan of this, I'm a big fan of that, you understand? I'm a bit neutral when it comes to these phones, you understand? But for example, now, for years, we all know iPhones, or Apple iPhones has been the major standard. And I still remember back then in 2015, most of these phones were behind, you understand? Like, in terms of, I remember when Google came out, it wasn't even Google Pixel then, it was when they were calling it, Apple was miles ahead. But today now, we are seeing a lot of phones coming out or stepping out, a lot of brand getting closer, to Apple. And even some brands are even, trying to exceed Apple. But I've seen what Huawei is doing recently in the past month from, creating their OS, their own OS and everything else. You understand? It shows how much the market for superior king in the smartphone market, is wide open. Unlike before, we all thought, Apple was miles, ahead. Things have changed, since then. You understand? So as I was saying, what is most important for me personally speaking is about the productivity, and it's one of the reasons why I love the idea that Samsung did, years back, whereby they noticed that the Note series, wasn't making that much. You understand? And apart from that, we also saw that Samsung was solely heavily invested, in boosting or improving on the S series. You understand? And to compete with Apple's, flagship models like the 11 Pro Max, the iPhone 8 Plus, the iPhone X, XR. You understand? Apple was heavily invested, and Samsung was trying to use the S9, the S9, the S10 Plus, to push, to compete. That they're not really heavily invested in pushing, the Note 9 Plus or the Note 9 or the Note 10 Plus. And if I'm being honest with you, arguably my best Samsung, in terms of old flagship models of the Samsung, I'll tell you the truth, mine is the Note 10 Plus. I just love that phone, especially the 5G version. You understand? I love the Note 10 Plus a lot, but unfortunately it hasn't been able to to supersede, or it wasn't able to to outclass the S series. You understand? There's only a few people who actually are familiar or knows what they want with a flagship model or with the Samsung brand that will go for a Note 10 Plus, because the truth is that Note 10 Plus can play even modern games of today. You understand? Like the Delta Force we're talking about, Delta Force Mobile, Note 10 Plus, we did very well. You understand? It's the productivity tool. That's why it was created. You understand? And I assure you, you can't use an 11 Pro Max or an iPhone SS Max to play a Delta Force and you'll be cool with it. No, because those phones were not built for those things. Like I said in my previous videos, that the most important thing that iPhone has done in terms of gaming has been the introduction of promotion. You understand? When promotion came in the 13 Pro Max, it was a very big deal. You understand? Aside that, the 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro Max, especially when 16 Pro Max came out, with thermal throttling. You understand? These are times Apple has been dedicated. Okay, let's make these iPhones not just for to flashy people those who are heavily invested, in content creation, or heavily invested in camera, or heavily invested, in taking pictures, or for professional photographers. But let's make this fun also for gamers as well. You understand? Let's enter the gaming space. I think this is the only time. But Samsung has been doing this long back, and this is not just Samsung. Even Google Pixel now at the moment is doing amazing. Have you guys checked out the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL? I haven't done a video on that phone yet, but very soon I will do a video on it. You understand? That phone is amazing. The camera is amazing. You understand? I will check out Huawei, one of the latest Huawei. I can't remember the name right now. They currently have 8K video recording. You understand? And from the rumors flying in on social media, the iPhone 17 Pro is maybe likely to get 8K video recording, but we are not sure at the moment. It's just a rumor going through or circulating around Twitter or X and other social media space at the moment. But you guys should let me, you should comment and tell me what you guys think. If a phone should be heavily focused on the design and productivity, or if the productivity is the most important thing for you. Please share your thoughts, in the comments. Thank you. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment please, because I notice I don't get comments often, and subscribe so you won't miss an update and content from us. My name is Eferia Ifeanyichukwu Conroy Ifemena. So see you next week, Monday, and so long.